I recognize the member from Stearns, the Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, Speaker Lisa Demuth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members in this chamber, we are all part of history. This 94th session of the legislature with a tie is absolute history that will go down forever. If you remember, the tie in '79 only lasted 1 year. We beat them. We made it through 2 entire years to do this legislative session together. And I'm actually really, really proud of that, because that means, maybe to the disappointment of all of us, it means, though, that everything that was passed out of this chamber and signed into law had to be bipartisan. There was no way through it. Those are lessons that I was hoping Melissa Hortman and I could have insisted would carry on in this place. Not a tie again, just to be very clear, not a tie again. But my hope for the future of the House of Representatives is we would learn to do this a little bit better together, because the voters insisted on it. That meant that we had to negotiate from day one in committees. That's something I hope all of the representatives that come along next will learn from, that it is possible. Even when it seems impossible, it is absolutely possible if we work together. I have much gratitude and thankfulness to the people that support the work, as we've all heard that from our perspective. First, I want to thank my family. Although they didn't campaign alongside of me every step of the way like a lot of you had from your families, they did what was necessary. My husband, Nick, is a great truck driver for parades because he doesn't walk parades. Very good truck driver. You've heard that I have 4 adult kids and 7 grandkids. When I was first elected in 2019, we had 3 grandkids, and we've added to those. One being just over a year ago, where we had a paper push, and I was presiding, coming from the hospital with my family, with my daughter, presided and left and made it in time for that baby's birth. I didn't make all the track meets for my grandkids. I didn't make all the lacrosse games. But a lot of times I would join by FaceTime, because my husband allowed that. He would just FaceTime me in. And those are the sacrifices. But I know everyone in this chamber, all 134 of us, and those that have gone on before us, we made those sacrifices because we believe in Minnesota. We believe that we could make things better when our constituents send us to this place. And I know that is absolutely possible. I also want to thank my mom, who watched almost every committee when I was first elected. And I would get a text message in the middle of just the occasional bill presentation saying, "I like your hair, that's a nice outfit. I have some political questions for you." That has continued on. She knows all of you by name. And no matter what time we finish, and I'm grateful that it's not past midnight, except for one time, Mr. Speaker, slightly after midnight. But I would get a text message, even last night as we wrapped things up, and she said, "I know you have a few more things to do, but you need to call me. I've got questions." So at 1 o'clock this morning, I called my mom, who was still up, and I said, "Okay, what are your questions?" And she needed to know some things. I was getting text messages, "Why are you laying bills on the table? That doesn't make sense. You have a deadline." I also know that her hero is Pat Murphy. I do know that, and we've taken pictures for her, because my mom was so concerned about Mr. Murphy during COVID, when you had to call the names, and how would your voice handle calling all of those names. She also thought when we were in the chamber that he stood the entire time. And I said, "No, he has a chair, he can sit." But You know, and we know, and this is kind of funny because our family was not political before I entered this realm at all. We didn't follow things closely. We were conservative, we always voted, but we weren't in the depths of what it meant to be involved at the grassroots level. And we've all grown because of that, and that is a very good thing. Every one of you in this place, along with me, I know we are doing this for the future, and we can't stop with that. I want to thank our staff, partisan, for getting us through. And you know, I've always said there's no crying in politics. There's a lot of crying in politics, actually. And it's out of gratitude. It's fighting those hard fights when we didn't think we would make it all the way through, and we did. And for Kevin, my friend, who always visits me at the rostrum, the Star Tribune needs to get an updated picture of us. To Sean and the work that we did in those rooms, there were 6 people in those rooms. Actually, there was 8, but there were 6 people when we were in the tie trying to figure out a way forward. And at times that it didn't think that we would be able to do it. Andrew and Sean, you were witnesses. Pat, you were witnesses that somehow we made it through. All those things we can't talk about. That club that we're in, we made it through. Leader Stevenson, we came in together, proud class of the majority makers, as I've heard from my college. Hold on. There were 5 Republicans. There may have been 35 of y'all, but we were really happy to be here. Leader Stevenson, you stepped up to lead your caucus this year, and we made it through. We didn't see eye to eye, and we did the work for the people of Minnesota. That's what needs to be remembered. So thank you. Our nonpartisan staff, even you've heard different people call out, but our research, our revisers, HR, because they are very important. Budget and accounting, those that don't normally get mentioned, thank you. And when we don't have to contact you, that's usually a pretty good thing for some of that. I remember when I came in 2019 and we were on that, the tour that we had on the Thursday after the election, everybody coming in really tired. We walked into this chamber and I heard, you're one of 5,000 people that has ever had the responsibility and the opportunity to serve in this role. And I didn't take that lightly. From that day, that very first day, walking in as a newly member-elect, I said, if I ever lose the awe for what this place means and what it stands for, I need to be done. I have not lost the awe for this place. I want to continue carrying it forward because what it means to our state and the future that we can continue to build on this. When I became minority leader in 2023, Melissa called me and she said, I'd like to meet with you weekly. And I said, you don't even need my votes. Why do you want to do that? She said, and this is her leadership. Again, we did not agree politically, but she said, we'll get to know each other personally as people, and then we'll get to do the work. And that has stood out for me. She's the only speaker I served under. That has absolutely stood out to me, and that's something I want to continue carrying forward. As you've heard from other members already say, when we get to have those conversations and get to know each other, it makes us do the work better when it's hard and when it's easy. So continue that going forward. The chief clerk puts out this thing with all of our names. I don't know how many people grab it, but I have this at home. I have it in both of my offices in my bag. All DFL, all Republican. I also have it from 2025 with different names on. But I have it, the new one, because I pray for every person that's listed on here, even when we don't agree. And I will continue doing that forward. Before I close, there's a verse in Nehemiah that has given me life and strength, and it is, the joy of the Lord is my strength. That's what allows me to smile That's what allows me to come in and do the hard work every day. People have said, how do you have energy? And I said, I don't know, but the joy of the Lord is my strength. I want to encourage you to leave any place that you touch better than you found it. And that's working with people that you both agree with and disagree. It has been my honor to serve the people of District 13A. It has been my honor to serve in this chamber. And it has been my honor to serve as Speaker of the Minnesota House. Thank you.